First Republic, right? The Northerners did not have as many Western educated people as the South, the West or the East, right? And so that's one of the reasons for that video that went viral some time ago with the Sardauna talking to the British BBC correspondents, talking about how, you know, they were not they were instituting or practicing what they call the Northernization policy, where more Northerners will be able to get into the civil service. You see, back in the late 50s into the early 60s, the NPC and NCNC worked hand in glove, and because they were allies, the loot or the booty of the war should go to both of them in terms of civil service jobs, in terms of opportunities in the civil service, the federal government should go to both of them. But the NPC could not take advantage of it because it did not have a lot of educated people that could work in the civil service, whether it was in the Nigerian Railway Corporation or Nigerian Airways or Port Authority and so on and so forth. So the NCNC took charge of that. But here's the problem. The NCNC had more people. The NCNC in the South had a lot of people who were educated. Now, again, remember, NCNC is not or was not originally Ibo. It was a party that was started in Lagos and was a coalition of different groups. And I know I say this every time, but it's important to repeat it. It's a coalition of different groups, and at least 4 of them we've mentioned here. We've mentioned the NNDP. That was a party that was created by Abat Macaulay in 1923. We've mentioned the Lagos Market Women Association that was led by Alimotu Pelewura. Of course, she was also assisted by Abibatu Mogaji, who became the head of the Market Women after Alimotu Pelewura. Of course, Abibatu Mogaji was the mother, or she's late now, was the mother of our president right now. So you had NNDP, you had Lagos Market Women Association, you had the TUC, Trade Union Congress, and then you had the student movement. Now, all these guys, all these groups came together to form NCNC, and the first president was Abat Macaulay, the secretary was Azikiwe. Azikiwe became head in 46 after the demise of Abat Macaulay, and then he went on to essentially turn the whole thing into a tribal thing. And how do we know this? Because although NPC did not have a lot of people to work in the civil service, NCNC did. Now, NCNC, we started in Lagos with all Yoruba groups and with other Nigerian groups joined in there, had people who could fill in those vacancies, right? But the NCNC did not fill those vacancies as NCNC. The Ibos used the machinery of the party to dominate those spaces with their own people, not because of merit, but because of nepotism. And you must have heard people say things like, oh, there was merit, they could do the job. No. And we've done a session here, and I referred to it earlier. You can find it on the YouTube channel, Achebe, Meritocracy or Nepotism. It's a 2-part video where we discussed how the folks from the Southeast actually got positions in the Federal Civil Service. It was not based on merit, it was based on nepotism. And so it says here, in 1959 and 1964, their majority, talking about the NPC, in the House of Representatives notwithstanding, the NPC, which all the time swept the polls in the northern region, gave away to the Southerners far more than they retained. But when they say the Southerners, in actual fact, it was the Easterners who cornered everything, even though it could have gone to the West as well. And that's the reason for that white paper that was published in 1964. White paper on the political alignment of Western region. It was published not by Action Group, but by the Western caucus of the NCNC, who thought that the party had been hijacked by a particular ethnic group.